Today we have a little mixture of stretching and strengthening, a combination of yoga and Pilates for you to use to start your day if you've got an especially stiff body in the morning. We will be working the muscles just enough to activate really good posture, so whenever you're ready, we'll start nice and easy in child's pose on the mat. We'll walk the hands over to the left side and let the hips sink over to the right, stretching out the right side body. And then, after a deep breath, we'll walk the hands through center and over to the right, sinking the hips to the left so that we can stretch out left side body. After a few deep breaths over there, we'll walk back through center and make our way up into tabletop, making sure that our wrists are just below the shoulders and knees just below the hips. We'll inhale, arching the spine and looking up, opening through the chest. Exhale, pull the navel back. Look between the knees and curl the spine. Again, we'll inhale, open through the chest, look up. Exhale, shift the hips back as you pull the belly button in and look between the knees. Inhale, again, look up, and exhale, curl. We'll now shift all the way back to child's pose. Slide the palms forward and exhale as we shift the hips into an upward facing dog to open the chest even further, and then drive the shoulders down into the mat to press back to child's pose. Again, and rippling through the spine, we'll press forward, opening the chest in upward facing dog, and then pull the navel back as we shift backwards and land in child's pose. We'll do one more just like that, slowing it down as we press back to our final child's pose. We'll then make our way up to tabletop, pull the navel back, and exhale, closing the ribs over the hips to support the spine. We'll tuck the toes and lift the hips high into downward dog, and then pedal through the ankles, stretching the hips and the heels in opposite directions. On your next inhale, lift both heels high and then ripple through the spine. On your exhale, shifting the shoulders to come forward into a full plank. Bend the knees and curl back up to downward dog. We're going to keep going like that 4 more times, rippling through the spine forward into plank and then peeling the hips up with the navel back towards the spine to support the low back into downward dog. We've got 2 left. And 1. Now in downward dog, we'll drive the heels down into the mat as we walk the hands back until we reach forward fold with a slight bend in the knees. Then we'll bend the knees even more, lowering the hips to knee height before we press the hips back up into our downward dog. We want to try to put our weight in our heels here so that we're activating the glutes and using the muscle as we stretch it. This time, with your hips lowered to knee height, we'll raise the chest, bringing the hands to prayer in a low chair pose. Take the hands back down to the mat and then lift the hips into forward fold again. We'll lower and lift the chest. Exhale, drop the chest down and lift the hips into forward fold. Let's keep going like this 3 more times. Exhale to fall, inhale to lower the hips, and exhale to press up. Lengthen your exhale by breathing out through the mouth and pulling the navel to the spine as you do. Inhale through the nose and really lengthen your inhale as well. From our last forward fold here, we'll walk the hands back forward to a downward dog, before exhaling to lower the knees down to the mat, finding tabletop. Take a moment to secure the spine by pulling the navel back and then extend the right leg long, flexed. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale, lower it down and draw your left knee up into your chest, hollowing out through the belly. We'll repeat this 3 more times with this leg. Exhaling to lift the knee into the chest. Inhale, lower, and exhale, kick that back leg up. Last one. Great job. Pulse the knee into the chest now, pulling the navel back each time you micro exhale as you draw the knee in. Then gently reset the legs into tabletop before extending left leg long and flexed and exhaling to drive it up. Inhale, lower, and exhale, draw the right knee into the chest. We'll repeat this side 3 more times as well. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, set it down on the mat. Exhale, kick the back leg up. Inhale, lower down. We have 2 and 1. We'll pulse the knee in for 3, 2, and 1 more time before resetting both legs in tabletop. Inhale, draw the right arm straight up to the ceiling, and exhale, weave it underneath the left, keeping the hips on top of the knees and trying not to press them back over the heels or the calves. Repeating this quite a few times, inhaling to open and exhale to weave it underneath, all the while keeping the left shoulder blade pressed down far away from the ear so that we're activating the right muscles in this exercise. This time we'll hold that weave through, resting the right arm down on the mat and lift the left arm to the sky on an inhale to stretch the chest and the spine in this direction. Then press the left palm down into the mat to unwind, and we'll repeat all of that on the other side, inhaling to take left arm straight up to the ceiling and exhaling to weave it through. We'll do 3 more like this on this side, making sure again that our right shoulder doesn't come up too close to the ear, and we're activating the muscles just below the shoulder blade to press up and out. You might even feel your bicep work as well. We'll rest on the last one, reaching right arm straight up for the ceiling on an inhale, and then exhale, press that palm down into the mat to unwind, reaching left arm up and lowering it to tabletop. Cross your ankles behind you and we'll shift back onto our glutes, scooting to the center of the mat and then rolling vertebrae by vertebrae down to our backs. From here, we'll stack the knees on top of the hips one at a time, making sure that our navel is pressed down into the mat so that our low spine imprints. We'll exhale, tap both toes down, hinging from the hips to do so. Inhale, draw the knees back up on top of the hips. We'll keep going with this one 8 more times, making sure that our spine can stay imprinted down on the mat so that we're activating our transverse abdominis. It will help us maintain great posture throughout the day. Again, we exhale, tap down, and inhale, lift the knees back up. We've only got 3 left now. And 2. Last one. Great job. Lower the feet and walk them out to the edges of the mat. We'll take a second here to windshield wiper the knees, letting each hip rise as you lower the knees down to the mat to help release the low spine, and it'll work through the hip flexors too. Breathe naturally through this exercise, inhaling and exhaling through the mouth, pulling the navel back to the spine as you do. We'll do 1 more, and then center the knees out and extend them long on the mat. Reach the arms overhead, and on your inhale, we'll initiate a roll up, exhaling to pull the navel back as we reach over the ankles. Inhale, roll back slow and controlled, and exhale, sweep the arms overhead. We'll take 4 more roll-ups just like this. Inhaling to slow and controlled roll back, and exhaling to sweep the arms overhead so that we don't flare through the ribs as we reach them up. We just have 2 more of these. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, reach over the ankles. Inhale, roll back. Exhale, sweep the arms overhead. Last one. Inhale up and exhale over the legs. Come up to a seated position from here and then walk down to your elbows, making sure that the shoulders are pressed down and the chest is lifted. Stack the knees on top of the hips. We'll inhale to lower the knees over to the right side and exhale through center. Inhaling to lower to the left, exhaling through center. Slow this movement down to align with your breath and really focus on drawing the navel back in towards the spine as you come through center and letting the hip rise just slightly as you lower to the side. We'll just do a couple more of these in each direction. 1 more. Great job. We'll lower our feet down to the mat now and cross our ankles, shifting forward into another tabletop position. From here, shift forward to a modified plank and we'll chaturanga down to our belly, making sure that our ribs stay closed over our hips and don't flare out as our belly hits the floor. Press the forearms down into the mat in a sphinx pose and roll the shoulders back, activating the muscle just below the shoulder blades as you lift the chest and inhale to take the chin up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower the chest down, and inhale to repeat, lifting up and looking up at the ceiling. Keep going like this for 6 and 5, 4. Really ripple through the spine, pulling the chin back into the chest before lifting it up to the ceiling. 2 left. And last one. Press those shoulders down. Take an inhale at the top and exhale to lower. Then walk the hands back and we'll shift into child's pose for a brief stretch of the spine in the opposite direction. Let the chest fall heavy to the mat and then ripple up to sit on your heels. Lift the hips and we'll draw the right knee forward, making sure that our tailbone can point straight down before shifting the right knee over the middle toe and then drawing the hips back. We're just going to pulse through this stretch a couple times to make sure that our hip flexors end up nice and loose and stretched out so that we can maintain great pelvic floor posture throughout the day. Inhale both arms up and we'll find a twist over our front leg for an extra little stretch on that hip. After a deep breath here, we'll gently rotate through center and lower our hands down to the mat to tuck our left toe, lifting the hips high into triangle pose. Walk the hands to center them between the feet for a wide-legged forward fold and let the chest fall heavy and the head drip down towards the mat. After a deep breath here, we're going to bend left leg and then right leg, extending the opposite so that we get a nice stretch through the adductors or the inner thighs. Keep walking out through the knees just like this. Then straighten both knees out, lifting the hips, and walk the hands over to the right, lowering left knee down to the mat. Make sure that that pelvic floor is aligned by pointing the tailbone straight down, and then pulse, shifting the front knee forward over that middle toe to stretch out the hip flexor on the other side. Keep pulsing here, and then inhale, reach both arms up overhead and find a twist over your front leg. Take a deep breath in this twist and really focus on relaxing the spine and feeling that extra stretch for the hip flexor that's extended back. Come back through center, and we'll make our way into crisscross in the center of the mat. For our final few deep breaths of class, take a moment of gratitude for your body and all of the stretching and working that it did to prepare you for a great day. Take the hands to the ribs or the hips, and we'll inhale, filling the hands in all 4 directions. Exhale, pull the navel back and close the ribs over the hips. Take the palms to the knees and roll the shoulders back for one more deep breath. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I know that this video was a little bit more slow-paced than my usual videos, but don't worry, I've got a great series coming to you to get you fit and ready for summer. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.